The West and several neighbors have grown increasingly wary of China's recent actions and long-term intentions. Its rapid military buildup, powered by economic rise, which many point out is partly achieved with unethical practices, has not gone unnoticed. The West has been taking steps to counter Chinese hegemonic maneuvers, but now it seems to have picked up pace. A multidimensional economic and diplomatic onslaught is underway. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes how the West is taking on China with well-targeted moves. Let's get started. Before we proceed, a word on NordVPN, which is one of the most trusted VPN brands worldwide that has a no-log policy validated by Deloitte, an industry-leading Big Four auditing firm. NordVPN provides an encrypted tunnel that protects your privacy by preventing external entry to your internet traffic, as well as enabling you to access content that's blocked based on geolocation. Best of all, with one NordVPN account, you can secure up to 6 devices at the same time. Get an exclusive NordVPN deal with massive savings by going to nordvpn.com/defense or clicking the link in the description. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. The European Commission said it will impose extra duties on imported Chinese electric cars from July. This comes less than a month after Washington announced plans to quadruple duties for Chinese EVs to 100%. Brussels said it would counter Chinese government subsidies with additional tariffs ranging from 17.4% to 38.1%, on top of the standard 10% car duty. Viewers may note that the EU launched an anti-subsidy investigation into Chinese EVs in October. This translates to billions of euros in additional costs for car manufacturers, just as they grapple with slowing demand and falling prices domestically. European policymakers are determined to avoid a repeat of the solar panel situation a decade ago, when limited EU actions to curb Chinese imports led to the collapse of many European manufacturers. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian described the EU's investigation as a typical case of protectionism, warning that tariffs would harm Chinese-EU economic cooperation and disrupt the stability of global automobile production and supply chains. He emphasized that Beijing would take all necessary measures to firmly safeguard its legitimate rights and interests. The U.S. government is said to be considering further restrictions on China's access to cutting-edge semiconductor technology. Sources indicate that the Biden administration wants to place additional limits on the Gate-All-Around (GAA) transistor technology and high-bandwidth memory (HBM). GAA technology improves density while delivering power and performance benefits, and HBM is crucial for AI accelerators. Policymakers aim to make it more difficult for China to develop and manufacture highly sophisticated computing systems that can accomplish critical tasks such as generating AI models. Washington lawyer Kevin Wolf, a former commerce official, stated, "The new controls are part of an effort by allied countries to each impose separately controls they had agreed to several years ago during Wassenaar Arrangement multilateral regime meetings, but that was not ultimately approved because Russia blocked the consensus-based regime from publishing the controls." Wolf noted that in March, the UK imposed restrictions on GAA technology. He added, "The US and other allies are thus expected to impose this GAA FET and many other earlier agreed-upon controls this summer." The United States has rolled out new sanctions against more than 300 individuals and firms accused of aiding Russia's war effort in Ukraine, including entities in China. Under the latest measures, Washington will expand its definition of the military-industrial base to impose so-called secondary sanctions on foreign financial institutions that conduct business with any sanctioned entities. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said that the measures target Moscow's remaining avenues for obtaining materials and equipment needed to sustain the war. Yellen said in a statement, "We are increasing the risk for financial institutions dealing with Russia's war economy and eliminating paths for evasion, and diminishing Russia's ability to benefit from access to foreign technology, equipment, software, and IT services. Every day, Russia continues to mortgage its future to sustain its unjust war of choice against Ukraine." In statements reported by Russia's state-run TASS news agency, Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokeswoman Maria Zakharova declared that Moscow would not leave such aggressive actions without a response. China has strengthened its relationship with Russian President Vladimir Putin since the invasion of Ukraine, but has consistently denied providing weapons to Moscow. Leaders of the Group of Seven Nations, G7, called on China to uphold its commitment to act responsibly in cyberspace, voiced its opposition to China's militarization and coercive and intimidation activities in the South China Sea, and reaffirmed that there is no legal basis for China's expansive maritime claims in the region. China claims almost 90% of the South China Sea through its so-called 9-dash line map. It says that it has indisputable sovereignty over the sea. The wide-reaching demarcation was rejected by an arbitral tribunal at The Hague in July 2016. It's important to note that several countries, which include Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan, have disputed Chinese assertions and have overlapping claims of their own. Countries like the US, Japan, India, and Australia have no claims but want freedom of navigation. The route is significant because approximately $5 trillion in trade passes through it each year. Additionally, the sea is believed to contain 11 billion barrels of untapped oil and 190 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. In a surprising move, a motion is passed by the Canadian House of Commons acknowledging Tibetan self-determination. The motion, proposed by Alexis Brunel-Desaep, a member of parliament representing the Bloc Québécois, gained unanimous support from attending MPs. China asserts sovereignty over Tibet, considering it an integral part of its territory. However, Tibetans, led by the Dalai Lama and the exiled Tibetan government, resist this. China's control over Tibet dates back to the 1950s, when Chinese troops entered the region and established authority. The 17-point agreement of 1951 formalized Tibet's incorporation into the People's Republic of China, though Tibetan activists dispute it, arguing it was signed under duress. Under Chinese governance, Tibet has faced extensive political, economic, and social control with controversial policies implemented by Beijing. Interestingly, the passing of the notion in the Canadian House of Commons comes just as a small group of EU officials, led by Paolo Pampaloni, the EU's Deputy Managing Director of Asia and Pacific Department, will make a visit to Tibet. The visit is scheduled to start on June 16th as part of the annual EU-China Human Rights Dialogue in Chongqing, China. The Tibet visit was agreed in principle during a previous round of EU-China talks, the EU spokesperson told RFA. Access to Tibet remains difficult, if not impossible, for diplomats, parliamentarians, non-governmental organizations, journalists, and even tourists, indicating widespread human rights abuse.
Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.